Hi, welcome back to TRCD Retro Programming. um, what I'm sharing with you today is a port of Ghost Saga in quotation marks because that was the best name I could come up with. And it's a port to low res. Now I opted to do this and I abandoned the high res or PMODE 4 because of a few different reasons. Alright, and I'm just going to talk about this a little bit. So what I have going on here is, and the reason I changed to low res is because I like using low res. That's what I learned in originally, and I just feel more comfortable with low res. You do get only 2 pages per screen, but that's not an issue. The issue was I couldn't find a way to make colors work. I tried the trick that people suggested, however, it didn't work. It just didn't work. What happened was that my sprites were jumbled up and colors were everywhere, and it looked like a Christmas tree or something. I don't know if my Xroar doesn't support it. It worked, but it didn't work properly, and so I just switched back. And I ran into an issue with this too. Usually I use screen set 0, which is green, yellow, blue, and red. This time I have to use, I wanted to use, get some more experience using screen set 1, which is white, orange, cayenne is this green color, and then this would be magenta, which is a purple. And I don't know why. I've used get and put before, like zillions of times in color set 0 and never had this problem. But what the problem is that I'm getting color conflicts that don't make any sense. Like, originally this guy was orange and this box wasn't here. It was the same color as the background. But I kept getting a conflict between magenta and cayenne. They would conflict with each other when you used get and put, and I don't know why. And what would happen is it would advance a white line right here, and there was no white line. Like, if you guys look up here, this is my sprite workshop, or I don't know what you want to call it. It's like a workshop area. So what happens was I had this sprite, like I said, was orange with just with a cayenne background. And what would happen is if I used the cayenne background and I was trying to walk that thing back and forth, it would present a white line right here, right in front of the character, and I don't know why. I've never had that happen before. And if I go over here, you can see it happening as well. As a matter of fact, I never even noticed this before, but do you see that line right there? Now it's putting up a magenta line when it hits the white. And there's no magenta line up here. This is where I got it from. So maybe someone can explain. Excuse me, my throat is kind of sore right now from talking, but I don't know why this is happening. I don't know if there's a fix for this or what's causing it, but there's no magenta line up here. But when I cross the white, it's causing a magenta line, and this only happens with get and put. Like, as you can see here, they don't well, if I had a magenta and I had cayenne next to each other and I drew them on the screen, it wouldn't conflict. It has something to do with get and put. Not with the put part, but with the get part. I don't know. I'm using comma G. I don't know. I have to see, and you can even see it down here. There's a little dot right there. It shouldn't be there, but I'm not letting it bother me, okay? So I have some trees over here, and as you can see, I got a little bit creative. There's one in front of the other, and they're two different kinds of trees or whatever. And the house, I just did a basic outline and colored it in. You know, Later on I'll put window panes in, or I don't know what I'm gonna do. Maybe the thing is, I'm trying to keep this simple so I can keep it moving. And all I can do right now is attack. And I got rid of the sound because the sound was making it go too slow. So what I think I'm going to do is when he attacks and he hits something, then um, we'll get that sound because he's hit something. That's where the sound should be. Um, I wanted like a swoosh sound, but it just doesn't work right. It slows it down too much. So basically what pcopy is doing is it's doing an instantaneous um, screen refresh. Basically, instead of using PCLS or having to use a patch or something, it's erasing the screen, and I don't know. It's like a PCLS. That's what I think of it when I use pcopy. Um, I consider it like a clear screen, but it does more than clear the screen. It's like a screen refresh is what it really is. Um, so basically, I can walk this guy all the way over to 1 pixel before the border, and what I'm gonna do is see if I try to attack, it gets messed up because of it doesn't have enough room to put. So I'm gonna have the character stop right here, and as soon as he can attack, but as soon as he takes one more step, we're gonna go to the next screen, and I think the next screen is gonna be a cemetery, and that's all I know right now. And I think the ghost is gonna be over there, and he'll have to kill the ghost, and it's going to be sort of like a sequenced adventure game. Like Tales of Suburbia is completely a scavenger hunt. There's no action. It's like a role playing game, but it's a role. It's a scavenger hunt. It's like a King's Quest or a now I can't think, like a Maniac Mansion type game, which is sort of like an adventure. I don't know what the category is, but this is more of like an action adventure with, but it is going to be a sequenced adventure, meaning you don't destroy enemies to get to higher levels. You destroy enemies and you solve puzzles, and then you get to higher levels. It's not a well, that's what it's going to be. So, I mean, I could do it so I can enter this house if I want to. I was thinking about maybe walking around the house somehow and making it 3D. That would be really cool. Like if I get to here and I push up or something and the house turns. I'd have to really map this out, but the house could turn and we could have a 3D adventure, so there would be depth. But it takes an incredible amount of time to develop stuff like this, and I'm only one guy. It takes a long time. So basically, I have a standing position. with the halberd drawn and a stepping position with the halberd drawn. So he walks. If you look at his feet, he walks. He walks backwards. He walks, and then, you know, we have this attack. And so the tiles are right here. And then this is the ghost tile, and it's much more, this feels more like a video game, where the other resolution was too fine for this type of thing. It was just too fine of a resolution. I like big sprites. If you look at my Zelda video, the sprite was half the size of the screen almost. So this is all I have for you today. I wanted to share this progress. You know, I wish I could do these things faster, you know, but it just doesn't work that way. So at least, you know, I'm getting somewhere with this. Now I'll probably go back to Tales of Suburbia and work on that for a while. You know, I want to get that finished somehow. It's basically done. I just have to make sure it works the right way and work out the bugs. And then I have to transition it. I have to, you know, I have to put it in the pcopy format so that it runs faster, because right now it's dirt slow. And that was because I was using get and put primarily. I hadn't learned pcopy yet. That's why it's so slow. The whole thing is in get and put. So like every room that you see is put, and every time he walks, it has to re-put the room, the entire room. And you know, I might do another video on how big of an area can you get, you know, guys. So I think you can get an entire page. That's my guess, because I've done huge areas, like almost the size of a page. So if I had to guess, I think you can get an entire page into, you can fit an entire page into an array, but not more than that. You couldn't get the entire screen, but I think you can get at least a quarter of the screen, if not more. And if I had to guess, I think you could get an entire page. But the problem with using that for backgrounds is that your guy is going to walk like this. And if you watch my Tales of Suburbia video game, this is about how fast he walks. And it's just really slow. But it was a learning curve. And you need those learning curves, you know. You don't start knowing everything, you know. If you keep working at it, eventually you learn what you need, you know. So, alright, that's going to do it for this video. And I hope you guys have a good night. Take care.